Okay class, in this video I'm going to explain homework problem number 1 from section 2.2 on triangles. We learned 3 new properties in this section that we can use in addition to the 4 others from the first section. So now up to this point all properties are available to us in this homework. The first new property is that the angles in a triangle, the interior angles, add to 180 degrees. The second property is that the interior angles of a right triangle add to 90 degrees. The other two, besides the 90-degree angle. And then number 3 was that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the interior angles. Here we have a figure with a triangle in it, and there's an angle off of the triangle that's 124 degrees. I'm going to show you 2 ways to approach this problem. Okay, so, way 1 and way 2. Actually, we're going to do it the other way. So here we'll do way 1, and then we'll do way 2 down here. So the first way is to do solve this problem, and this problem will be solved in the same way that you've approached the problems from the previous homework. First, you need a plan. A sequence of steps that take what you see and use the properties that we have 7 now, and put them in a sequence, a logical sequence, so that I could follow from where you start to where you finish. The goal for where we finish is going to be finding the measure of angle x. So the way 1 plan is to, let's see, what is a way that we can do this? I can see that the x is in the triangle as an angle. Okay, so there's my angle x. This angle is 62. And I know that my first property from this section is that the sum of all the measures of the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So it would be nice to have this angle here. Well, from first section, I have, and right next to this angle, I have 124 degrees. In the first section, I have a property available to me called angles on a line, where I can figure out what this one is. Now, I don't know what this angle is right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to name it an angle, and call it angle A. It's right here. Okay. I'm going to use angles on the line. To find angle A. And then the next step of my plan is to use angle sum of triangle to find angle x, which is my goal. Okay. So for way 1, now we're going to formalize it to teacher solution. So there's only really 2 steps in this one. Find angle A, then find angle x. Now if I'm going to use angle sum of angles on a line, then I need to write this as a sum. Same thing with angle sum of triangle. So I know that A plus 124 degrees is equal to 180 degrees from angles on a line. Okay. And when I do that, I can go ahead and subtract 124 degrees from both sides. And I get that A is equal to 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 2 is 5. So A is equal to 56 degrees. So since I know that, I'm going to go ahead and write it in my figure. And I can use that later on because I have another step here, angle sum of triangle. So angle sum of triangle means I'm just going to take my A and take this angle here, and this angle here, and this angle here, and I'm going to add them up together, set them equal to 180. So we have 56 degrees, and now that's not A anymore. I can use it, since I said that it was equal here, I can use it as 56 degrees from now on, plus 62 degrees, plus x equals 180 degrees. That's from angles on a line. Angle sum of triangle, that is. Sometimes I get those confused, sometimes you might as well, but angle sum of triangle. Okay, remember not to put an S after the angle symbol in this one. Here there are multiple angles, so you can with angles on a line. And when I add my 56 and 62, 56 plus 60 is 116, plus 2 is 118. Okay, I'm going to subtract 118 from both sides. Those will cancel. X is going to equal 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 1 is 6. 62 degrees. Okay, so this is way number 1. So I'm going to draw a dividing line. We'll do way number 2 out down here. Okay. The other property that we have is angle sum of right triangle and exterior angles. And now notice that the way 1 plan has used 2 steps. The way 2 plan will use just 1 step. Notice that this angle right here, I'm going to circle it in red, is exterior to this angle here and this angle here. I know it's exterior because what I've done is I've extended the base, okay, and I take this angle right here and I compare it to the opposite interior angles, which is this one and this one. Okay? So this angle 124 degrees is equal to 62 degrees plus x by exterior angle. And so I'm formulating an equation with x, and once I solve it for x, then I got what x is. Okay. So way number 2 just has me set up the sum x plus 62 degrees is equal to 124 degrees. Okay. The reason is exterior angle of triangle. There's only one exterior angle that you use in this. Okay. So what I do is just finish it out, subtract 62 degrees from both sides, and that will simplify. 4 minus 2 is 2. Oops. Back up here. And 12 minus 6 is 6. So x is going to equal 62 degrees here as well. So there's 2 ways to find 62 degrees, which is the measure of angle x in that one. Okay, here's number 8. We need to find out what angle x is, but the trick here is that there are no numbers. Okay, we just have x right here. We have 2 times that angle there and 3 times that here. But we do have our properties available to us. Those are tools that to help us in any situation. And the properties that we have that I'm seeing here, we need to are vertical angles and angle sum of triangle. If I get my 3x to here, we're using vertical angles. Then I can use angle sum of triangle to add so I'm going to do this plan here. So use vertical angles and then use angle sum of triangle. I'm going to use vertical angles to get this arbitrary angle here, which is going to be, say, A. It will be discovered that A was 3x using vertical angles to get angle A. So we use vertical angles to get angle A, and then angle sum of triangle to find angle x. Okay. Alright, so that's our plan. Now, A, we did not know how big this angle was, so we have to label it better. And when we do that, we just say that A is equal to 3x because of vertical angles. Okay, these are my 2 intersecting lines right here. We have one here, we have one here. And the opposite angles around them, like this 3x and this 3x, are going to be the same because they're vertical angles. We proved that in the first section. So A is equal to 3x. I have my statement right here and my reason right here. Okay, now my plan was to use angle sum of triangle to find x. I can associate these three angles together. This angle, this angle, and this angle all add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to use 3x now, plus x plus 2x is equal to 180 degrees. And the reason was angle sum of triangle. So we write that out there. When I add these up together, I get 3x and x make 4x plus another 2x gives me 6x. Divide by 6 on both sides, and x is going to equal 30 degrees. That's my answer. I'm going to finding, so I need to put therefore. And I can go ahead and box that too if I want. That's how number 8 works. Okay, class, here is number 9 from section 2.2. I've included number 9 as well because it is tricky in that we don't have any numbers here per se. So first we want to make our plan. And let's go ahead and do 2 ways with this one too. Okay, my way 1 plan is I need to make an equation with x, the x terms, and set equal to like 180 or 360. And so in order to associate them together, we have our, and then this section is about triangles, we have the interior angles of triangles available to us. We also have exterior angles. So let's start with the first one though. This right here we're going to label angle A. And this one we're going to label angle B. In A and B, we find out those, then we can, in terms of x, then we can add them up together. I can say that this angle plus this angle and that angle equal 360. So to find out what angle A is, I have my 4x here to the side, which this right here is A and 4x are 2 angles that are on this line. So we use angles on a line. To get angle A. Same thing with this one right here. Down with angle B, we have this angle line, this line here, and we have 3x next to it. Okay, so that's my way 1 plan. Once I do that, I use angle sum of triangle to get x. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. So we'll start with A. A plus 4x is equal to 180 degrees because the angle's on a line. This is way 1. And I'm going to solve for A because that's what I want. Subtract 4x from both sides. Now it's okay that 4x isn't is still there. Okay, so we have A is equal to 180 minus 4x. Okay, there is an expression to indicate this quantity here. Okay, so we don't have numbers here per se. I'm gonna write that in here now, my figure. Okay, now I need to get angle B. B plus 3x is equal to 180 from angles on a line as well. Okay, so B is solving for B, I get 180 degrees minus 3x. Okay, so that's 180 degrees minus 3x. What I need to do with angle A and B and 2x was to add them together and set them equal to 180 because of angle sum of triangle. So we're going to take my 180 minus 4x plus my 180 minus 3x plus 2x and set that equal to 180 degrees. That's because of angle sum of triangle. Okay. Now I'm going to simplify. What I have here is I have 180 and 180. That's the only numbers on this side. And then I have with it I have 4x, 3x, and 2x. That's actually negative 4x, negative 3x, and 2x. So let's consider all those together. 180 and 180 is 360. The minus 4x minus 3x is negative 7x, plus 2x is going to be minus 5x. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 360 degrees from both sides to isolate my variable. Negative 5x is equal to negative 180 degrees, and then divide by negative 5, and then x is going to equal 36 degrees. Therefore, okay, so that was a pretty long one. Alright class, here is way number 2 for number 9 in section 2.2, and I'm going to use external angles to help me. This one, okay, so here is our triangle, and I'm going to extend this base here, okay, and I'm going to note 3x as the external angle. And when I take the 3x and I use my external angle property, that external angle is equal to the sum of the two interior angles, which are 2x and 180 minus 4x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these two together, 2x and 180 minus 4x, and set equal to 3x. So 2x minus 2x plus 180 degrees minus 4x equals 3x. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and combine our x's. So I have 2x here and minus 4x here. Okay, that gives me 180 degrees minus 2x equals 3x. So if I add 2x to both sides, that will cancel. 180 degrees equals 5x. Therefore, x is equal to 36 degrees. Okay, so we have that available to us now. So 2 ways to do number 9. And finally, for number 13, we have a different type of problem where we need to deduce angles in a path from beginning to end. Okay, so I need to end up with finding measure angle F. This is my end here. I have 72 degrees here, 39 here. I have properties available to me: vertical angles, angles on the triangle, angles on a line, and so on. So I need to make a plan for this. The plan that I have is taking 72 degrees and finding angle A. There, that will be 72 degrees because of vertical angles, so I'm going to use vertical angles. And I need to get B here, and I need to use vertical angles to get A. I need angle sum of triangle to get B. And then vertical angles again to get F, because once I know what B is, then I can go up to F. Okay. So the first thing to do is to get this A equals to 72. So I go ahead and say that because I'm using vertical angles. That's their type of statement. So now that A is 72, I'm going to add 72 and 39 to get angle sum of triangles. So 72, 39, B. B is what I want because B is my connection to F right here. So we're going to have 72 degrees plus 39 degrees plus B is equal to 180 degrees. That's from angle sum of triangle. Okay. And when we add 72 and 39, get 111. And then I'm going to subtract 111 from both sides. B is going to equal 10 minus 9 is 1. Oops. 8 minus 1 is 8. 7 minus 1 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. So B is 61 degrees. No, 69 degrees. Okay. 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay, so okay. B is what we're looking for, so we're going to put therefore here. And we'll be good.